Hey everybody! So Phil Deneau finds himself, I guess, in a bit of a controversy after some of the things that comments he made in a recent press conference or that he was part of. I didn't actually see it, but I read two articles. Now, one article was by Omar White, and that was in A Winning Habit, and it kind of takes a bit of a negative look at him and maybe talk about maybe it's time to move on from Phil Deneau, which I don't agree with that. And then there's another article by Eric Engels that takes kind of the other way of looking at it and maybe explains why he might be saying some of this and not to really worry too much about it. And I'm of that camp, not really worrying about it. So because of these comments, so many people are either worried that he does want out of Montreal, or people are saying, hey, we should probably move on from him now. If he doesn't want to be here, let's move on from him. But if you think the Montreal Canadiens are in either camp, I think you'd be wrong about that. I don't think the Montreal Canadiens are worried about the comments, and I'll try to explain myself in this video. So let's start from the beginning, and we'll work our way kind of back to where we are right now. So the beginning would be Phil Deneau. He's 27 years old, or he's about to be. He's right there. He's drafted 26th overall in 2011 by Chicago Blackhawks. He was traded to Montreal February 26, which is 2 days after his birthday, in 2016 for Dale Weiss and Thomas Fleischmann. An amazing deal, if you ask me. One of Bergevin's best deals. In 2018-2019, he finished 7th overall or 7th in the Selke voting. And this past season, I believe he finished 5th. I could be wrong, but I believe he finished 5th in the Selke voting. In 2015-16, he played for both Montreal and Chicago. Chicago 30 games, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points, -3. Montreal 21 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points, and a -2. So overall 51 games, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points, -5. The first season he played a full season, I believe, in his career, but also in Montreal. He played 82 games, career high, 13 goals, career high, 27 assists, 40 points, +5. The next season, 52 games. It was a bad season for Montreal, so I don't know if that's the reason for 52 or that he was injured, because I don't remember. 8 goals, 17 assists, 25 points. He was even. 2018-19, again for Montreal, 81 games, 12 goals, 41 assists, a career high, 53 points, career high, +17. And this past season, 71 games, 13 goals to tie his career high, 34 assists, 47 points, and a career high +18. So overall, 339 games, 50 goals, 125 assists, 175 points, and a +35. So that's all to say that we're going to get to where it is. So I want to just move over to my other computer so I can read some of the quotes from these articles while I read what I prepared. All right. So acquired from Chicago for Weiss and Fleischmann to help at center, where there was definite deficiencies. Get the words out, Rick. Deneau played mostly with Max Pacioretty, I think, in that first full season. Because Radulov, Max Pacioretty and Alex Radulov, I forgot to name him Alex Radulov because he was only here one season, Radulov. And then with Tatar and Gallagher, pretty much exclusively after that, since then. And they've become one of the top lines in the NHL in puck possession, dominating in 5-on-5 play, and they're always out against the opponent's best every night. Deneau, a winner in the face-off circle and able to shut down the opposing line, but at the same time putting up some decent offensive numbers that were increasing every year and getting himself noticed around the league and in the Selke Trophy race, too. With all this, Deneau still wasn't and isn't a traditional #1 center. But with Montreal's lack of center depth, sometimes can't read what I write. He has been just that, though, their #1 center. So ideally, he should be a team's third-line, two-way center, plays the shutdown role, second wave on the power play, and first power penalty kill unit, playing 15 to 17 minutes a night. Okay, so That's what he should ideally be. It's not how it's been, and it's understandable that Deneau has the pride and confidence in himself and his abilities to push back on the fact that he may have a new role. So what with the emergence of not only Nick Suzuki, but Jesperi Kotkaniemi as well, Montreal's coaches and management wouldn't want to have what's the word I wrote here? Want to hear him be any other way? Oh, that's what I wrote. So yeah, so basically Montreal, the management and the coaches, they don't want to hear him being like, okay, I'm going to accept the role and I'm not going to say. They want to hear him say, I've been here, I've done this. I'm good at this, and I am not. This is what I want it to be. I want to be the #1 center, and I want to do the best they can and produce offense and play the two-way role and all that. And they want him to hear. They want to hear him say that, because if he doesn't say that and he doesn't have that kind of pride in himself, what kind of a hockey player is he going to be? Okay. Now I got to find where I was. And it's why I don't get, so it's why I don't get this controversy about Deneau's comments. I really don't get why it's such a big controversy about what he's saying. So here's the comments, because I haven't said them yet. So here's the comments that I'm talking about. And I'm just going to go to the page where they are, and I'm going to get them for you. So the article by Omar White is called "The Montreal Canadiens May Want to Explore Trading Phil Deneau." Philip Deneau, but Phil Deneau. And the comment is from, I don't know where this comment comes from, but I imagine from one of the French newspapers here. And it's translated to say this: I saw my role change in the playoffs, but with what I have proven, my role should not change in Montreal. Now, the second part of this is from Etienne Ferland. He's a reporter following the team. And he said, I think he tweeted this out, when asked if his role with the team would have an influence on his desire to stay in Montreal, Deneau simply answered, yes. So I kind of think that it makes him come across unhappy and even angry if you really, with how it's being reported, right? But it's being reported a little differently in English. So I'm going to give you these same I think these are the same quotes, but from Eric Engel's article that's called Canadiens Deneau's Pride. The Canadiens, Phil Deneau's pride, self-belief, or I should say and self-belief, shouldn't be construed as selfishness. I don't really like the way that headline's written to read it, but he's saying that don't take what he says as him being selfish and kind of crying and I want to be the #1 center. It's not how it is, and I'll try to explain what he means by that. So he kind of has these same quotes that I just read that were in this other article, and this is how I think it's the same quote, but obviously different. And I don't know if it's the writers that are taking editorial license or it's being a bad translation, but in the playoffs, several things changed, and the coach wanted to do certain things. This is the quote from him. He said during his postseason conference call on Tuesday, we were really thinking short term, and the team wanted to get a look at certain players like Kotkaniemi, who did very well. It made my role a bit unclear moving forward, and from what I saw in the playoffs, I was in a very defensive role. That's my bread and butter, but I know I can bring more. I proved that the last 2 years. So you can see where in the other quote where it says that, but with what I've proven. So this, I think, is the same quote. I think that's it to the quote. So also, Deneau has 100 points in 152 games played in his last 2 seasons, all while shutting down the opponent's best lines night in, night out. He's a former first-round pick, and he's playing to the potential that made him such a high pick. So that shouldn't change going forward. He's in his prime now, and his best should be yet to come. So I don't see him, even if he's playing a bit of a different role, I don't see him not being able to play to the best of his potential, and he is playing to that, and that's what I think a lot of people don't see when they look at Phil Danault as our number one center and say, well, he's not a number one center. No, he's not a traditional number one center, but you know what? He's playing that role, and he's playing up to his potential. He was a first-round draft pick, albeit 26th overall. Still, he was a first-round draft pick. Okay, so Claude Julien chimes in with some things of his own. So I want to go. There's a couple of quotes from him. I gotta find them. So he's saying, in today's hockey, you need everyone to produce. When I see what Phil has done for years, a Suzuki offering these performances and KK doing the same thing, I see the depth we need at center. See how important that is, what he's saying? That now, even with the emergence of Suzuki and KK, and I see what Danault has done for this team for years, what it makes me see is how deep we're getting at center. And that's super important and something that has not been here in Montreal for years. So it's out of the question that I'm going to go to Philip and say, listen, I don't want you to score goals. I simply want you to be a player who defends. He's not going to do that. Why would he do that? Since I arrived in 2017, he's almost, well, my dog wanted to agree with me. Yeah, she just wanted to agree with me on that point. So he's saying that, that with the depth, and he's not going to go tell him, don't score goals, you're going to be a defensive center. No. We could have three lines that have offense. And it's obvious that Phil Danault more than likely is not going to develop into now a 70-point player. But you can get 50 points out of him. You can get that on the third line. And you can have a much more well-rounded and well-managed top three lines, minutes-wise and responsibility-wise, with him playing that role on the third line. I don't think it's going to happen next season, and I don't think he has anything to worry about that happening right away anyway. So, we're going to see how that plays out, I guess. He also goes on to say, since I arrived in 2017, Wilson brackets 2017, he's almost always been played against the opposition's best lines, and he's been capable of contributing at both ends of the ice. That's what I expect from him, and I hope it continues. So he's kind of pretty much saying that right there that Danault's role isn't really going to change right away. I'm kind of even getting the thought that might even be that Suzuki doesn't take over first-line center yet to start the season, as I kind of said in an earlier video, that I think right away from day one he should be the first-line center. I don't know if they're thinking that way yet, and I don't know if they have a big change for Danault's role on the team. I think there's another quote I want here. You have, maybe there was something else I wanted to say. No. Okay, so he's a, Julien doesn't expect Danault to just let KK and Suzuki pass him on the depth chart. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. He doesn't expect, the team doesn't expect Danault to just let Suzuki and KK just walk past him on the depth chart without a fight and pride in himself and confidence in his abilities out there. He's done it for now 4 years. He's gotten better every season that he's been here. Why would the team or the coach expect that Danault is just going to just accept the fact that Suzuki and KK are challenging him for the #1 spot at center? You have players who are willing to come in and do what's best for the team, and that's what Phil has done, the coach said. If he can be a good two-way centerman, we're in good shape here. I might have got ahead of myself on this, but he's not selfish. He's not a selfish player. He's always been an unselfish team player, and Julien is saying so right there. So Danault's in a contract year. It's coming up next season. And of course, he wants to secure his future with a raise. He's making $3.083 million, which is nice money, but he deserves a little more. He wants to secure his future with the money-wise, with some term on a contract. So to me, like, his comments are more of a negotiating tactic here, I think. But the pride and the confidence that he has in himself and his abilities on the ice, I think that's genuine. But I think he's coming out and talking like this more because next season is a negotiating season for him. It's his last year on the contract that his last contract that he signed with Montreal, and he wants to stay here, I'm sure. And he wants decent money, decent term, and all these things. So he's not going to not promote himself and not say these kind of things. So I don't think Montreal's taking anything out of it or from it more than that, really. He also has a quote saying that he knows he can reach another level. He knows he can do better, or he feels in his bones, it's one of those, I know I can do it. He feels he can even go a little bit higher up as far as his offense. And he wants the opportunity and believes that he deserves the opportunity and has proven that he deserves it by the play that by the last few seasons. So, for me, when you say that quote where you have players willing to come in and do what's best for the team, and Phil's done that, and he can be a good two-way centerman. So we're in good shape here. And, that's the truth right there. We're in good shape here, and Danault can do everything he wants to do, and he can do it in the proper role, and he will do it because he's not a selfish player, and he wants to win, and he wants to win cups. And by going to another team, I mean, starting over somewhere else, it doesn't work, I think. I think he wants to stay here anyway. I think he would like to be the next Guy Carbonneau and that kind of legacy and win cups and all that. So I think that's the truth here. He's a team player. He'll do what's good for this team and for himself because you know what? At the end of the day, in my opinion, doing good for himself and doing good for the team, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. If he does good, the team does good. If the team does good, he'll do good. I mean, it just works hand in hand. And I think I can't see him not realizing that or the team not realizing that. So I won't be making any Danault trade videos, I don't think, because Phil Danault's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere, except hopefully to a Stanley Cup final with the Montreal Canadiens. And if the hockey gods are smiling on him, he'll hoist that cup and skate around the ice and become the champion that he deserves to be and help make Montreal's 25th Stanley Cup dream a reality. And I think that's it. So I don't expect to see Danault being traded. I'm not going to take part in any of this speculation about where Phil Danault is going to go because I think it's ridiculous. There's why would this team is up and coming now? You want to get rid of a Phil Danault? Why? For what? Over a couple of comments? I don't get it. So I'm glad you stayed with me this long for this video. If you like to give a thumbs up, let me click on it and make sure I'm still recording. I am. Imagine that. Give a thumbs up. And if you have any comments about anything I said here in this video up on the board there, anything I might have said, please in the comment section down. Actually, there's not much up on the board there. In the comment section down there, let me know what you think about what I said, what you think about. Do you think Phil Danault is going to get traded? Do you think he wants to be traded? So let me know in the comment section. And if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and hit that notifications bell, which is down there as well. And that'll get you your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge right here at Talking Habs. And that's it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Really appreciate it. Stay safe out there. And peace out, y'all. And I'll see you next video. Bye, everybody.